privileged to welcome you to our gymnasium and our student event center on Allen Academy. We are so proud to have an opportunity to be a host location for the new venture here with Twin City United. And along with me, I brought a representative of our student body, Michael Holman, to also give you a welcome. Michael.
On behalf of our student body here at Allen Academy, I'd like to welcome Twin City United to Allen Academy. Now, turn it over to Coach Dave Bliss.
Michael is my point guard, and he's a heck of a point guard. We're thrilled to have the Twin City United here. Obviously, in this community, I'm part of the basketball program here at Allen Academy, and we have some tremendous facilities. I've gotten to know John, your coach with United. I also had known Austin Pooley because of his excitement for basketball and trying to generate even more fan interest in a variety of ways. But having dealt with both of them, it seemed like a natural fit for us to offer our facilities. And again, without further ado, I'll have Austin Pooley come up, the president and CEO of the Twin City United. There you go.
Thank you, Dave. That's a smattering of applause.
My name is Austin Pooley. I'm fighting Texas A class of 2012. I'm very excited to be here today. I'm excited for this new venture that I've started, Twin City United Basketball. I'm excited to be a part of the community. My whole goal here is to really develop the basketball community from the ground up. We'll have youth programs, adult leagues, all the way up to our professional team, which is Twin City United. It's called Twin City United because I really want to include all of Bryan, College Station, and the surrounding areas. So Navasota, Caldwell, Hearn, Calvert, they're all our target market. We want to include everyone in the Brazos Valley area in this basketball adventure that we're embarking on. With that being said, I'd like to open it up for any questions that y'all may have for me. Okay, I would like to now introduce our head coach, Coach John Coffino.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank John Rouse and Allen Academy for being so generous in letting us use this venue. It's very difficult to get a venue when you're starting a new organization. And this is a perfect place for us to start, and you've been nothing but generous, and we appreciate that. We're going to make you proud that you made the right choice. My good friend Dave Bliss, man, I mean, when I stepped into this town and I heard you were here, I was like, wow. I mean, we go way back. Coach, he coached at the University of New Mexico, and I coached head coach in the D League in New Mexico. We weren't there at the same time, but we have so many mutual friends, and we could talk hoops all day. And I've learned a lot from him in my 7 weeks here. And I look forward to learning a lot more from you, if you don't mind. Austin, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come down to this great community, College Station, Bryan College Station, excuse me. And I chose to come down here because I think that this league has a lot of potential, and there's some great talent, and as you can see, some homegrown products. We're going to mix some local players with some out-of-state players and put together a good product. We're excited. I know that word's been used a lot, so I'm excited that everybody's excited. And we're going to get started January 10th with vet camp. Probably bring around 20 guys in. Then make some cuts to the final number, and then start training camp. And our first game is the 20th, right? 20th in Laredo. So it's just around the corner. Not Laredo, but the season. From what I'm told. I've never been there, so I might fly into Mexico and just hop over. But our first home game here is the 25th, and then we play on the 27th. So we're looking to get the community involved. We have some great sponsors, we had a great turnout for free agent camps in Dallas and in Bryan College Station. So we have some talent to draw from, and You know, it's going to be an exciting year, and again, it's going to be international rules, FIBA rules, and our goal is to develop players and you know, help them get jobs. We're not going to get them jobs; they're going to get themselves jobs. But we don't want guys sticking around too long. We want them to you know, to get better and to develop. And when a team needs a player, they'll call us, one of the, you know, the federations, and they're gonna draw from our league. So we'll you know, I guess you want to announce the players, and then, you know, I'll come back if you have some questions. You know, I'll be glad to answer them. Okay, thanks.
A little bit about our league. This is the American Basketball League. We're playing a 24-game season, 12 home, 12 away. We're in the Lone Star Division, which is 6 teams in Texas. There's also a Tropics Division, which includes 6 teams from Florida. We're playing under FIBA rules, so the international game. The season runs from mid-January, January 20th, to the end of April, which we will play playoffs against the Florida teams. Now I would like to introduce our second overall pick, Mr. Dominique Kirk.
How you doing? So my name is Dominique Kirk. I played here at Texas A&M University from 2004 to 2008. I'm excited for Coach Coffino, Austin. I appreciate the opportunity. Teammate O, and I think we're gonna have a pretty successful season. I think we got some good talent to draw from, just like Coach Coffino said. I'm excited. You know, I've been out for 2.5, 3 years now. I've been with the Texas A&M University, being a graduate assistant, and just getting back into it is a blessing and an exciting time for me. So hopefully we can do some good things, and I believe in the coaching staff and the owner, and hopefully our team will be able to play and, you know, do our thing. Thank you.
We're very excited to have Dominique Kirk here. Since he played at A&M, he's a local guy, local product, and a lot of fans will remember him from his days at A&M. And he was a great player there, and we are hoping that he'll be the same great player for us as well. Now I'd like to introduce our 4th overall draft pick, Mr. Othello Alford.
How y'all doing today? I came here not really expecting to speak. As you said, my name is Othello Alford. I'm from down the road, Calvert, Texas, small town kid. So being able to play at this level is I'm not gonna say exciting because, you know, that word's been thrown around a lot. So I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic to play at this level. You know, it's really my first big opportunity besides when I graduated from college. You know, I had a chance at the ABA, ended up getting injured. So I've been out for a pretty long time. I went to college down the road at Sam Houston State and ended up transferring to a Division II, Southwestern Oklahoma. So, you know, getting back on the stage of basketball is really exciting for me. You know, I'm really ecstatic to get on the court. You know, to play here at Allen Academy. You know, it's like a dream come true. You know, to get back to playing in front of your family, your fans, and people who know you. You know, I'm ready to pack the stands, to get the crowd excited. You know, and get out here and rip around my teammates, man. You know, I miss it. And I thank Austin, Coach Coffino for the opportunity, you know, especially the opportunity to get drafted, which is one of the first in my town, you know what I mean? It's a small community, so, I mean, I'm one of the first to graduate in my family, so this right here is a great opportunity for me, and, you know, I appreciate you guys, and I thank you for letting us use your venue, and, hey, come out and enjoy.
Again, you know, it's going to be different. You know, with the FIBA rules, you're going to see a lot of changes with players coming and going, and you'll have total accessibility to our locker room. Anything you guys need, you know, I have no problem letting you in for anything, and I'm always available. My players will be available. You know, another thing I didn't mention was that this league, it's going to expand, you know, and the first year is the toughest year. we're only playing in Texas because, travel is so costly. In the D League, you fly everywhere, and it's very expensive. You stay in hotels, you have to take like 3 flights to get to North Dakota, from Erie, Pennsylvania. So the first year, it's going to be, they're going to not cut corners, but they're going to be very, very smart about how they spend money. Now, once we get through this year, they're going to expand to, hopefully, to New York and California and the Midwest. And so it has a lot of potential, and it's groundbreaking. This is going to be history here, especially, the first games in January.
What are the fundamental differences for folks that don't know the rule differences?
That's a good question. I coached last year in the Middle East, in Qatar, and I learned the hard way. One thing, when you call a timeout, only the coach can call a timeout, and you have to go to the table. You have to say to the table, "I need a timeout." Well, I was screaming at the referee for a timeout, and he's looking at me like I don't know how to speak Arabic, And the players are, "Coach, you have to tell them." And the ball has to be out of bounds, and you have to have possession. So you can't dribble the ball and call a timeout. That's one of the things I noticed. Another rule that really blew me away was when you have a breakaway, when a team has a breakaway and you're trailing the play defensively, and you go to block the shot and you make a clean block, that's an automatic 2-shot foul and the ball. You have to let them go, even if it's a clean block. I was excited. I was jumping up and down. What a great play! And all of a sudden, they get 2 points in the ball. So that's another one. But basically, it's pretty similar. 24-second clock. Maybe the timeout's a little different as far as times and how many you get. And there are certain rules that differentiate, but really, another one is you can hit the ball off the rim. Once it hits the rim, or you can tap it in. Once it hits the rim, it won't be goaltending. We all have to learn the rules, and I mean, players, officials, coaches, we all have to learn them. But there aren't that many big differences, and they're easy to pick up. But it's a fast game, it's a high-scoring game, and basically, FIBA is an incredible organization. They have a partnership with the NBA, and where when I was in the D League, if you left the D League team, you had to buy out your contract. It's very hard to leave. That's another difference that we have with FIBA. You don't have to pay a buyout clause. So if you leave, we want you to leave. You don't have to pay $40,000, or the team that you're going to doesn't have to pay for you. In retrospect, when you leave a FIBA team to go to the NBA, you also have to buy out your contract with that FIBA team, like Ricky Rubio had to do. And I think it's like 10%. He was making $5 million, so they had to pay $500,000. But that's one of the differences. And one of the good differences about this league is there's no buyout clause.
Austin, as being the youngest GM in the league, how do you feel how does that feel like?
As the youngest owner in the league, I'm real excited to be part of the youth movement in basketball in the U.S. A lot of the owners, the people in the NBA, they're getting older. All the existing basketball personnel are all getting older. So I want to be on the new wave of basketball here in the U.S. and here in Bryant College Station. I want to be a fixture in the community for the rest of my life. I want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to play basketball. That's my ultimate goal here, is to give everyone the greatest chance to have success on the court and off the court that they can have.
Mr. Alford, rumor has it you have a 42-inch vertical. Is that true?
I would say 40.
I could go two more inches.
Coach Coffino,
Yes.
if you said that you had to mimic an NBA team as far as style of play, what team would it be?
Well, that's interesting. I like to run and gun, but I also like to. We're gonna win by virtue of sharing the ball, and depending on what the talent. I always adjust to what we have, our personnel. So if we have a big team and not an athletic team, we'll play a half-court style game. If we have athletes that want to run and that can run, then we'll do that. But one of my basic fundamentals is If you play good defense, solid defense, individually and collectively, then I'll give you freedom on offense to do whatever what you can create. And I want guys to make, basketball plays. So if you play defense, you're going to play for me. If you rebound, you're going to play for me, and that'll keep you on the court to have some liberties on offense.
So is it fair to say that you adjust your style of play due to the personnel that you have?
Right, yeah.
So do you specifically look for a different type of player?
I do. I look for hard workers. I look for guys that are going to be great ambassadors of our team in the community and on the court. Talent doesn't always woo me. Anybody can coach an All-American. I've coached McDonald's All-Americans, and I've coached guys that eat at McDonald's. I much prefer to coach guys that I can develop and help develop and that are coachable. Coachability is my number one thing I look for.
Of course, this being the first year in the league, they don't have any veterans. So, would you say these two up here would be more of a veteran leadership?
Well, I mean, I'm going to look to them a lot to lead. Not just on the court. Being in the community, I'm expecting them to sell a lot of tickets. Number one. And getting awareness out there. They're well known, and we have to take advantage of that. I become an Aggie fan instantly here. Not just basketball, football, Johnny Football. Maybe they'll call me Johnny Basketball. I don't know. Johnny Hoops. I like Johnny Hoops. You could write that. If this town's big enough for two Johnnies. But anyway, I mean, these guys are, they're well known, they're well respected, and we're counting on them for a big contribution.
What's roughly the pay range for the players?
We are a professional organization. We are professional basketball. However, the pay range is designed to get players to work hard enough to get a raise overseas on a better team. So we're looking at between $500 and $3,000 a month per player, depending on their draft status and if they're a free agent or not. So it's enough to make a living for a couple of months, but it won't be enough to make this a long-term career.
Basically, you're not going to get rich playing here, but it's an opportunity. And I tell a lot of the agents that call me up, and first question is, what's the salary like? And I say, if you're looking, if that's going to be your biggest concern, then you shouldn't come here. But you're going to get compensated. We're going to house players from out of state, and the opportunity is the main issue here, where you're going to get developed, and you're going to get some exposure to get a job overseas and to get a good career. I've always advised young players to not start so big, and this is a perfect opportunity. This is a minor league basketball league that is starting out, but not like a typical minor league that we have all around the country. And so it's an opportunity to build your resume and to start out and then to get into a good situation. There are a lot of countries that aren't doing that well financially, and I can help them with that and tell them, you got to pick the right club, you got to pick the right team, the right country, and build your resume. You can make a nice career overseas if you pick the right road to get there. I had a player at St. Peter's who was the third leading scorer in history of college basketball. Third all time, over 3,000 points. And he should be in the NBA, but he just didn't get that break. He's making millions in Italy right now, and there's a lot of money to be made, and it doesn't matter. And if you have NBA dreams and you're good enough, they'll find you no matter where you are in this world.
Othello, as far as being a player coming to this organization, what do you feel that you'll be bringing to this season?
First, leadership. Second, being coachable, being an extension of the coach on the court as well as off. And third, excitement.
Hey, Austin, is there a limit on how many years you'll be able to play?
There is not currently a fast and hard limit. They want to kind of limit your time in the ABL to 3 seasons. It doesn't have to be consecutive, but they don't want players to really make a career out of playing in the ABL. It's more of a jump-off point for players to go play elsewhere. So 3 years is what has been talked about. It's not a hard and fast rule, but generally if you're playing here long-term, you're probably not good enough to be playing professional basketball full-time.
Yeah, you don't want to be a lifer, you know. I mean, there's some D-League lifers out there, and I tell a lot of players, you know, give yourself that dream, you know, give it a shot for a year or two, and then you got to move on. You know, eventually, you know, if it's not happening, you got to face reality and move on. But again, this league is not just for players; it's for coaches, it's for officials. We have a dance team that's being formed. They all want to move up. They all want to, you know, progress in their careers. And so again, of course, the players are the main focus on developing and moving on. But everybody that's in this league, it's a stepping stone.
As far as people not being here to actually see the games, how would other people be able to see it?
We will be live streaming each and every game. We're working on getting the right camera equipment and the right vantage points in this gym to live stream every game. They will all be on our Twin City United television channel, which is livestream.com/Twin City United TV. And we're looking to really go all out on this. Eventually, I want to have a local TV deal to show all our games on television, but to start out, we're definitely streaming all the games live online, where you can watch anywhere in the world. It's also good for the players, so they develop game film to make highlights out of to send to other teams.
What's your typical ticket price?
Ticket prices start at $8 for general admission, $5 for students, free for anyone 12 and under. We'll be having courtside seats. We'll have VIP tables. It's going to look like a professional basketball team.
Dominique, what made this opportunity the best for you to, you know, shelve coaching and get back on the floor? And if you could just step closer to the microphones for us.
I believe it was just a great opportunity. I was at, you know, like I've been working here, I've been going to school, working on my master's, so I think, and I also had it, you know, in the back of my head that I wanted to get back out and play. So, you know, once Austin and Coach Coffino, you know, came here and my agent talked about, hey, you know, they have a professional basketball team here in A&M, well, in College Station area. And I just felt like it was just a great opportunity just to get back out there. Like I said, I've been out for a couple of years, so I really believe that I'm still in physical shape, that I can get out there and play, and hopefully I can, you know, do my best and get better.
What kind of adjustment do you think it's going to be going from the rules that you've grown up playing your whole life to these FIBA rules?
Right. Well, I played 2 years overseas in Turkey, so I'm familiar a little bit with it. I don't know how much they changed from 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, but you know, I'll adjust. I've always been a guy that can adjust to a lot of things, so I'm just excited about it.
And just meeting with these guys here, what are you gathering from them? What type of team you're going to have, and just the the philosophy and the organization here?
I think it's going to be great. I think O is a really good point guard. I think we're pretty much going to adjust to him, and Coach Coffino, he's going to adjust to. Well, we're going to adjust to him pretty much first. Then off of that, then I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to run the floor. Then we're going to be a pretty good, solid defensive team. I think it's going to be exciting. Like we always say, it's exciting, but I think it's really going to be a great opportunity for us to show this community that, this is a legit professional basketball team.
What's the team size?
Team size, numbers? Well, again, we're starting with 20 in vet camp, and then 3 days we'll cut it down to 10 or 12. We'll have a practice squad, some local guys that, if they're unfortunately don't make the top 10, and then go from there. We're going to need more than 10 in practice, and unfortunately you get injuries or guys move on or guys can't play for whatever reason. But I think the league rule is going to be 10, and then we'll go on. So ideally, we'd like to have 2 at every position.
Has there ever been a case that you know of where a player skipped the overseas contract and went to the league from the ABL?
Have ever went where?
Is it possible to go from the ABL to the league, or?
Well, anything's possible. I never stop a guy from dreaming, but I know there are guys that have talked to me about playing in this league that want to get back to the D League, which will help you get an opportunity to get back to the big league. And believe me, I've seen it. I've had guys make my team in Albuquerque from tryouts, that made the team, that eventually got called up by Denver Nuggets. So if you're good enough and you work hard and you have a specialty, we don't necessarily need 30-point scorers. No one's looking for that. All the teams have that. But if you have a skill that helps teams win, that's what they want. Teams overseas want to win. The more they win, the more their sponsors kick in, the more bonuses they get, sometimes from the government. So winning is important to these teams, just like it is here in the States. But I will tell you this, there are Americans overseas that score 30, 40 points a game, but their team's in last place, they're the first guy to go. They're the first guy to be let go. It's their fault. We're not winning because he's shooting all, or he's scoring all the points. So, again, I'm going to convey to our players that if you're a great defender, if you're a shot blocker, if you're a rebounder, you can run an offense, and you're a playmaker, you make everybody better. They want those kinds of players. They want those kind of players.
What do you think is the biggest expectation that the ABL has to live up to? Like as far as being a new league?
As far as expectations go, one of the things that the ABL expects to accomplish this year is to get between 25 and 50 players contracts overseas. That's the whole goal of the ABL, is to get players contracts, and that's one of the expectations that we have for the first year. And also, the biggest thing is to convey professionalism. We need to make sure that all teams are run properly, that we all provide a good product on the court and off the court, that we have plenty of community involvement, that we make sure that the public knows that we are a legitimate professional basketball organization, a legitimate league to be playing basketball in. So step one in our in season one is to establish legitimacy for the ABL and for each team.
So this is the first year for the ABL then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve Haney has started the league. He's a former agent of Magic Johnson and Dominique Wilkins. So it was his idea. It was his concept. He's put a lot of time and money into the league, and he really wants it to succeed. He's gotten some great sponsorships and partnerships, and along the way, little by little, we have Wilson on board that's going to make the basketballs, and it's just so much that's happening. And the first year is, we're under the microscope. We want to see. We want to get through it unscathed and with little loss as possible. And to be honest with you, minor leagues, aren't very successful in the past, but he knows that, and he's thought this through and done a lot of research. So he's on top of things, and he's a guy that's that when we need something, we just call him, and he's got a great supporting cast. Something you should know: Tony Parker Sr. is involved in the league. He's one that gets all the federations on board. Kenny Anderson is involved in player development. Johnny Moore just got hired at one of the teams in Texas, former San Antonio Spur. Calvin Murphy is coaching the Sugar Land team. Tree Rollins in Florida is coaching. They say Nate Archibald is going to be coaching in Florida. I mean, and Coach Coffino, what doesn't belong here, right? I mean, they all played the NBA, and I played NBA Live. So, but there's some names, and they're taking it slow, but this guy has some great ideas, and he's got a good vision. So we'll see. Hopefully in April we'll talk again and talk about expansion.
Question: how would you guys be providing contact to these overseas teams, like a filter, besides the streaming? Like, will you guys be contacting coaches or GMs or?
Right. There are teams that want to. Actually, there are teams like I've heard from Israeli teams that they want to own one, be part of like an affiliate, like a parent club. And I don't know if they're ready for that. So, like I said, Tony Parker Sr. is in charge of all the federation contacts. I don't have a lot of contacts, so if I get a call and they say, hey, I need a foreman, and I'll say, okay, there's one on the, West Palm Beach team, that you need to look at. We're all helping each other here, and I know we're going to tape every game. We're going to make highlight tapes. That's the first thing that overseas teams want. They want to see the guy. They're not going to take somebody sight unseen. So we'll videotape games. We'll have every player will have a highlight film. We're going to do play-by-play also, through the computer. And so it's going to be nice. It's going to be well done and easy access.
They have a season ticket package?
Yes, we will be having season ticket packages. We'll have 3 and 6 game packages. We'll have family packs. All those will go on sale through our website, twincity9.com, January 1st. We are finalizing the official schedule this week through the league. So we'll have all that ready to go January 1st, and we'll start in the streets, in the high school, middle school games, having through our community involvement, through our Hoops IQ, free basketball clinic, all those venues to really sell tickets and sell ourselves to the community.
Did you say that the basketball team is going to be active throughout the Bryan College Station community?
Yes, that is my #1 goal with this team. We need to make sure that we are promoting both basketball and academics to the youth in the community. We have started our Hoops IQ free basketball clinic, which is an hour-and-a-half worth of basketball instruction and an hour-and-a-half worth of work of SAT prep. We'll be doing many more sessions of those starting in January. We'll be in the schools talking to kids about staying in school, reading, anti-bullying, no texting and driving. We've got some things lined up for some programs lined up for our community outreach. So we're excited about being a part of the community, being a part of building the youth basketball product here in Bryan College Station.
So Michael, if you have any ideas of skipping college and playing for us, forget it.
Coach Coffino, besides coaching the team as a whole, would you be doing any like personal player development to get guys to where they need to be, like Othello and I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Dominique.
And Dominique, they've been out for a while, so would you be prepping them to get them to where they
Absolutely.
need to be?
You know, we're going to be St. Michael's Episcopal. We'll have access to that gym, and so whenever we do, you know, one of the things about a lot of people ask me what's the difference between college coaching and professional coaching. And you know, in college you work a lot more hours, and I like that too. You know, I like it a lot. In a professional level, it's just a couple hours of basketball a day, and you have a lot of downtime. You know, and it's important that the guys don't just lay around. You know, we're going to have a strength and conditioning program. We're working on a couple of sponsorships from the local gyms, and I want our guys to be busy basketball-wise. I don't want them, you know, sitting around, you know, playing video games, or, you know, hang out in the apartment wherever they live. You know, we want to stay active because it's their job. You know, this is going to be their livelihood, so they have to develop and get better every day. You know, you can't waste any time. So I'm always accessible. I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. You know, as far as you know, going home to New York Thursday, but I'll be back and ready to develop these guys and help them in any way they can. And it'll be good to evaluate them and see what they need to do.
Hey, not that you're gonna need it, but how do you feel about the 24-second shot clock violation?
To me, it'll definitely be new, but I don't think it's going to be hard to adjust to. You know, as you know from the past, I mean, I don't hold the ball for 24 seconds anyway, so I don't think it'll be hard for us to adjust to. Man, Coach and Austin here are gonna pick some good guys, some good shooters. I mean, good big men. So we're gonna move the ball around pretty quick, hopefully. You know, and put the ball in the basket and get back on defense and try to get it back again.
Coach Coffino, most points scored by any team you've coached.
144.
Think we'll get there?
In a couple of games combined. That means you're giving up a lot of points too. You know, someone asked me, a guy from the New Orleans Hornets asked me, what do you base your offense on? Like, what stat do you feel that you had a good offense? And I said, get to the free throw line. You know, we led the league 2 years in a row in the D-League of free throw attempts. And to me, that tells you that you're getting the good shots. You know, you get to the basket, you're taking a great percentage shots, and you're putting pressure on the defense and getting them to foul a lot. And that's one of my things before every pregame that I put up. I want to outshoot the other team with free throws. You know, whether we score in the hundreds, you know, maybe we'll have a deal with one of the local food chains. If we score 100 points, we get some, you know, some lanes and whatever, canes, whatever, I don't know, I gotta get used to these people out here, but yeah, there's so many chicken places, I think I hit them all so far. But yeah, you know, I mean, you know, we're gonna score a lot of points, but to me, it's the, you know, the defensive field goal percentage and free throws that's him. It's gonna be our barometer.
I think with that, we're going to wrap it up. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. Dominique, Othello, Coach Coffino, members of Allen Academy. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. Thank you for allowing us to be part of the community. We're very excited to be here. We're very excited to get the season rolling. Less than 6 weeks away. So we'll make sure that we put a great product on the floor and that we are very involved off the floor. Thanks for coming out. Thank you, media members, and have a great day.
Happy holidays.